Now we'll take a look at Chapter 2, Globe, Latitudes and Longitudes. Latitudes and longitudes are very crucial lines for navigation. The globe is the representation of the earth on a small scale. So that you can rotate it and you can actually feel how the earth is rotating and revolving around the sun. So you can understand the earth in a much more better way if you have the globe. If you look at the globe, you'll see a lot of parallel lines horizontally and vertically. So these horizontal parallel lines, they are known as latitudes. That's why they are also known as parallels of latitudes, because all these are parallel lines. And similarly, if you look at vertical lines, they are known as longitudes. And if you look at one important latitude that is in the center of the earth, that is the imaginary line which we all know, that is the equator. The equator is the imaginary line which divides the earth into two exactly equal halves, one known as the northern hemisphere, other one known as the southern hemisphere. So the equator is taken as 0 degrees latitude, and it goes on till the north pole, which is 90 degrees latitude, 90 degrees north latitude. Similarly, from equator 0 degrees, if you go towards south pole, it is taken as 90 degrees south, because it is near the south pole, it is the south pole. So that's why it's taken as 90 degrees south. So all the latitudes are in between them. These are very important grid lines for navigation, especially in marine technology or even in aircraft technologies, like say some 50 degrees north, 70 degrees west, something like that. Okay. So in that way, the required people can find out the location of the exact aircraft or the ship or of a person or of an object. So that's why this is very, very important in locating the grid and for navigation. The axis of the earth is not exactly 90 degrees, there's a slight tilt to it, and the earth is tilted slightly. The angle of tilt is around 23 degrees. That's also known as the declination, because we have the geographical north-south and we also have the magnetic north-south. So but there's a slight tilt. The earth is slightly tilted and it's rotating and revolving on its tilted axis. Let's take a look at this topic, important parallels of latitudes. So the first important parallel of latitude is the Tropic of Cancer latitude, which is 23 degrees north. Then we have the Tropic of Capricorn, which is 23 degrees south. Then we have the Arctic Circle latitude, 66 degrees north, and we have the Antarctic or the Antarctic Circle latitude, 66 degrees south. So these are the four important latitudes or the parallels of latitudes. These four important parallels of latitudes will help us locating exactly or navigating exactly where the object is or the human being is. So that's why these are very, very important parallels of latitudes. Similarly, longitudes are vertical lines. They are taken from east or west. So we will study about them later on in this chapter. So that's why the combination of latitudes and longitudes will give you the grid, so that you can narrow down the search. Suppose if an aircraft or a ship has gone missing, so they can easily locate a position of the ship or the aircraft by narrowing down the coordinates. We'll take a look at heat zones of the earth. The first zone, which normally is the most prominent one, is the torrid zone, because if you look at the equator, from equator till Tropic of Cancer or till Tropic of Capricorn, this zone gets the maximum heat from the sun or from the sun's rays. Next zone which we'll discuss is known as temperate zone. Temperate zones extend from either the Tropic of Cancer to the Arctic Circle in the northern hemisphere, and from the Tropic of Capricorn to the Antarctic Circle in the southern hemisphere. It doesn't get the maximum heat, however the temperatures are quite moderate in the temperate zones. We'll take a look at the frigid zones. The name itself suggests, frigid means very cold. What are longitudes or meridians of longitude? They are the vertical lines of references from a given standard line of reference called the prime meridian. Like a standard line is taken, and these lines give you the reference how far an object is either east of it or towards west of it. That's why these are known as the meridians of longitude. The distance between the longitudes are measured in degrees. Further, the degrees are divided into minutes and the minutes are divided into seconds. The distance between all the meridians of longitudes, they decrease steadily till all the meridians meet at the poles, at the north poles and the south poles. So where exactly is the prime meridian located? Where the prime meridian is taken as the standard line of reference. So the prime meridian is located at the British Royal Observatory at a place called Greenwich in the UK, the United Kingdom. So that's why it's also known as Greenwich Mean Time, GMT. The prime meridian is taken as 0 degrees east or west, and from here if you're going towards eastward, it will range from 0 degrees to 180 degrees east, or if you go from 0 to 180 degrees west, if you go west, it will be like 0 degrees to 180 degrees west. Apart from helping the latitudes in navigation, longitudes are absolutely crucial along with latitudes, mainly longitudes, for measuring time. So that's why longitudes are absolutely crucial in measuring time and various time zones. So there are various time zones all over the world, and there's also a line, a special longitudinal line known as the International Date Line. It separates one day from the other day. Like say for example, right now we are in India. Right now it's almost noon over here. But what about countries like Japan? Because as the earth rotates, one half of the earth is day, it's having daytime, and the other half is nighttime. We all know that. The International Date Line, it's slightly modified. It's not exactly straight. It is slightly modified as per the geography of the earth. However, it's taken as a part of the longitude. So that's why it's known as the International Date Line, which separates between day and night on earth. And then we have various time zones all over the world. We all have local times all over the world. But we need to calibrate with the standard time, which is known as the GMT, Greenwich Mean Time. That is the standard time taken worldwide. The time is changing because as the time zone changes, the local time also changes all over the world. Why do we have standard time all over the world? To standardize various timetables for various daily life activities. Standard time is required all over the world. And speaking of India, we have our own standard time known as the Indian Standard Time, also known as IST. The Indian Standard Time line it goes to a town of Mirzapur, Uttar Pradesh, India. So the local time measured at Mirzapur, Uttar Pradesh, India is taken as the Indian Standard Time. We have only one time zone for the entire country of India. So anywhere in India, all the clocks, all the watches will be set to this particular time. That's why when you check out the news channels, there's always the Indian Standard Time mentioned at the corner. You can always correct the time, always you can calibrate your wristwatches, your time with the Indian Standard Time, so that everybody is on the same time page, like the same timelines. And how will you calibrate Indian Standard Time with respect to GMT, Greenwich Mean Time? India is 5.5 hours plus 5.5 hours ahead of GMT. So right now if it's 12:30 over here today in the afternoon, so it will be like 11:30, 10:30, 9:30, 8:30, 7:30, it will be 7 a.m. It will be right now 7 a.m. in England, in UK, or in Greenwich Mean Time. So in this way, Indian Standard Time is calibrated with respect to GMT. So not only Indian Standard Time, worldwide all countries have calibrated their time zones with respect to the International World Standard Time known as the GMT. Overall, we human beings have divided our earth into 24 different time zones of 1 hour each, and each time zone is taken as 15 degrees of longitude. Like I said, it's measured in degrees, minutes and seconds. So in this way we have studied all the various topics in this chapter. So if you want, you can add some extra points to the existing knowledge, and you can improvise it. And if you have any doubts or suggestions, you can let us know in the comment section below. Thank you so much. Have a great day.